Welcome inside the Burns Arena. It's the first edition of Women's Basketball Weekly for the 2018-2019 season. I'm Carrick Segmiller, radio play-by-play voice here at Dixie State, as well as the assistant coordinator of media relations, and joined, as always, by women's basketball head coach JD Gustin. Coach, another season is here. Can't tell you how excited I've been as the fall season has kind of wrapped up, and I'd be walking by, and now we're to the time of year where it doesn't matter about what time I walk by in here, the ball is always bouncing. So I don't know how you guys are feeling. I'm sure you're excited. I, for one, am super excited for the start of a new season.
Well, thanks, Carrick. Yeah, we're super excited about the season, and we're super excited that you'll be hosting this program that we're trying to do, and just to get to know our program a little bit better, our players better. We appreciate everything you do for us and our program, and yeah, let's get this thing going.
Let's do it. I had a fantastic time getting to know you and your staff a little bit better last year, and then as well as the student athletes, and that's what it's all about. It's all about the student athletes, and today we'll chat with you though, and we'll just dive right into it, like you said, and the new season is upon us. You go through that grind in September and October where it's individual workouts, and then you're starting to be able to practice as a team, and your players are just kind of beating up on each other. And then finally they get out, they play an exhibition at BYU. You have the game against Northern New Mexico, and it's full steam ahead with games. What have you seen so far through the first couple of months of practice and through the first couple, the exhibition and then the first official game that has kind of jumped out at you? And just tell us about this team this year.
Well, yeah, that's loaded question.
It's a loaded. That's a lot.
Sure.
It's a lot in one.
I think as of today, I think we might have a case of being. I guess I'm cautiously optimistic, Carrick. I like our group. I think we're super talented. I like our leadership at this point. Our two seniors, Lisa Van Kampen and Miley Richardson, are talented, experienced, just quality basketball players. And the best part of what I see in them right now, though, is their leadership. And so I think excited about that. I think we have a good group of returners. I love our freshmen. I love our transfers. And so we're just putting it all together, trying to put it all together now.
Couple of games to look at. I know you know a game against a Division I school, and then a game against an NAIA school, and both ends of the spectrum. So I think maybe this weekend, and you probably feel the same way, we'll get a little bit better idea of where exactly this team is at. But as you see the exhibition and then the things that they did on Saturday against Northern New Mexico College, I mean, got to be happy with some of the things you've seen so far. What have you liked so far through the exhibition, through the first game?
Well, yeah, I mean, we feel like I think BYU is one of the top women's basketball programs on the West Coast, and to go into their place, and they're picked third on the West Coast, and have a first team kid all back, and they have a tremendous group of freshmen. For us to come in or to go into there and to compete we competed for about 15 to 16 minutes and really didn't play well. And so we saw a lot of good things from that game. They exposed us in a number of areas, and we were able to obviously check the film out, and we're working on those things. And then to have a good win against Northern New Mexico was good for our confidence. To start the year at home with a team that we should beat, and we handled business, and definitely got better that night.
The thing that I saw in that game that I liked, and you probably see the same thing, is that you had 5 in double figures, and then a lot more close to double figures as well. I mean, the scoring was really spread around. This team is not afraid to share the wealth and to make that extra pass and to get each other involved. How much is that emphasized, especially in this year's team, to say, hey, team is the star. We're not just looking for one person to do everything. We want everyone involved.
Yeah, Kirk, that's what we want to be about here at Dixie State Women's Basketball. We want to share it. We want to play together. We don't just say it. We mean it. And we're really deep. They know that. Our kids know that. They know if they're not doing what maybe they're supposed to be doing, that there's someone on the bench ready to come in and perform. And I think a neat part about our program or our team now is they're excited for that player that's going to come in. I feel like our chemistry's better. Our willingness to be a good teammate and to celebrate somebody else's successes is better with this group, and something that we're going to have to be good with in order to be good.
I like that you mentioned the team chemistry. We had Morgan Myers was on our Trailblazer Weekly show earlier in the week, and we asked her a similar question just about team chemistry and how much you encourage the players to interact and to be together off of the floor. So I wanted to ask you the same thing. How much is that emphasized in the program that, hey, we're not just teammates out here on the court, but we're teammates everywhere. We want you to spend time together and create those relationships off of the floor as well. How much is that emphasized in the program?
Well, I'm glad she mentioned that. I mean, she's listening, right? I mean, it is absolutely our number one priority in our program right now. Like I said, I believe we have extremely talented players. It's whether we can come together and get along and share it and believe in each other and all that cliche stuff. We really believe it here, and we believe if we can get good at that phase of what team is, we feel like we can have a chance to be pretty good.
We like that cliche stuff because it's the cliche stuff that if you do well, you're going to be making a name for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's funny that you bring some of that up. You mentioned a couple of players. I mean, the players is what it's really about. You mentioned the seniors, Miley and Lisa, and their leadership and their roles, and just how excited we are to have Lisa back on the floor this year and everything that she brings to the table. Let's talk about a few more of those returners. I mean, other than them, it's a pretty young team. You bring Allie Franks is back as a junior, and then all your fantastic that were freshmen last year back as sophomores this year, and Kesley Stevenson and Morgan Myers and Mariah Martine, and let's just talk about the returners as a whole and the core of this team that's coming back and break it down and what you expect out of the returners this year.
Well, we challenged them in the spring. We had a tremendous spring, and then we challenged them to go out in the summer and to work on their games. And so, you leave for the summer, they can kind of do what they want. And it's very evident that they all worked heavily on their game. Mariah improved tremendously. Morgan maybe the most out of them all. Kesley came back in tremendous shape and significantly better. Super proud of them for accepting the challenge that we gave them. And we're going to ask a lot from those three, from those 5 returners, and I feel like they're all going to have great years.
And you mentioned just how talented this team is across the board. So let's talk about some of those newcomers as well. Yeah. London Pavlica has been fantastic in the first couple of games and double digits in both games. But then, a junior college transfer, and Rochelle Blazard has been fabulous as well. I mean, Maddie Loftus, Jamie Staley. I mean, we can name out all the names, but I'll let you kind of name the names and help us get to know those newcomers and who we can expect to. We may not know their names terribly well right now, but here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you will.
We're going to know them.
You will, yeah. Loftus and Blazard are huge because of their leadership. We were super grateful to get them from USU Eastern. Felt like they were really coached there, just like Miley. I think the coaching staff there does a tremendous job. But both of them are impact guards that they can both shoot it for sure. And again, I like that the leadership that they bring. They're winners. They've won everywhere they've been, and excited about them. And then Cam Mooney and London Pavlica, those 2 freshmen have been solid. I love Lana, what she brings for us. And then we have some injuries, of course, just like everybody does this time of year. But Jamie's going to be out for the year. Amy Green, we're looking forward to coaching her, and she's going to be out. Those things happen. But we brought in a bunch of kids, and I don't really know how much better we could have done, to be honest with you, in the recruiting process. We worked hard, and we were really grateful to get them.
Well, we're excited to have them all here as well. Like I said, the practices that I've seen and the games that I've seen so far this year, just high energy, up tempo, in your face type of style. I'm going to press you till the game's over, and it's just been fun to watch. And that leads right into how nice it is to be able to play at home as you're trying to mesh together as a new team, and you play it on Saturday at home, and then you get to bring a couple of teams making the return trip after you went to Oregon last year. Western Oregon's in the Burns Arena this weekend. St. Martin's is here. Colorado Mesa's here as well, but we don't see them till later in the conference schedule. 3 good basketball teams coming into the Burns Arena and expecting some high intensity, some really good quality basketball this weekend.
Absolutely. Good teams. Western Oregon, of course, beat us at their place last year. And St. Martin's is extremely well, they're just a lot better. I mean, I think that both those coaches are tremendous and do a great job. But we'll have to be ready to go both games to have a chance to win for sure. But we fully expect to be.
Coach, it's been a fantastic chat. I see that your players are getting out here on the
ready
floor.
to
They're
go.
anxious to go, and they're saying, "Hey, let's let Coach Gustin out here and help direct this practice here." But thanks for joining me today as we kind of break down the season preview and what's coming up this weekend. Like I mentioned at the start, I'm excited for another year, and just excited to see what this team has in store. And I appreciate you for letting me come along for the journey and being part of it.
Well, Carrick, I thank you again for doing this, and I look forward to you getting to know each one of these young people, and for the St. George community, and then just the Dixie State women's basketball supporters across Utah and the Western, United States. Just looking forward for those people to get to know our kids a little better through this basketball weekly thing we got going on, and it wouldn't happen if we didn't have you. So keep up the good work, my friend.
We appreciate it. You too. You too.
Yeah.
First edition of Dixie State Women's Basketball Weekly, the 2018-19 season, is in the books. We look forward to chatting with more of the coaching staff and the players in the coming weeks. Thank you very much. For head coach JD Gustin, I'm Carrick Segmiller. Have a good day.